Hello friends, my name is Benji Kreckman. I'm a fantasy author, and in this video we're going to be talking about the exercises that fantasy characters have to do to get in fantasy level shape, and I'm going to be trying to do them. Now, as I've said in a previous video, because this is actually part 2 to a little series that I'm doing, the first series we did kind of tricep or push day, right? So you get chest, shoulders, tricep, those kinds of things. There's a series of limitations on my side and on the fantasy character side, and some of those overlap. For example, I don't have a state-of-the-art gym, and if you're Aragon or if you're Aragorn, you're not going to have that either. So you're going to have to find other ways to build up strength. If you, come from like a smaller background in terms of financial budget, you're probably sharing that. You might not also have a lot of space, and so we're going to be doing this inside a 4 by 6.5 foot space. That's the first rule, actually, is that most of this video has to be done inside a 4.5 by 6, or sorry, 4 by 6.5 foot space. You get the rule. That way, if you can follow along, if you don't have a lot of space, or if you find yourself wondering how Uncle Iroh got jacked for the Avatar, you can have a picture of what that would take as well. The other piece to this, again, since they don't have state-of-the-art workout equipment in most cases, since Luke Skywalker probably didn't have that, what we're going to be using is mostly body weight workouts. And so I'm going to say that 80% of these have to be body weight workouts. That's across the series. And so if you watch part 1, I would say like we hit like a 95% ratio. In this video, we're going to really try and max that out. So then the next one, which will be our biceps, we have a little more wiggle room. There are going to be body weight workouts there too, but there are going to be a lot more hand weights as well. So we'll get into that when we get into that. In this video, we're going to be trying to do as much body weight things as possible. So in a confined space with as much body weight as possible, we want to get as strong as we possibly can. These are limitations fantasy characters would face and we would face. The other part of this, I would say, is on my side, and we can parallel this. We can put this in the middle of the Venn diagram between me and a fantasy character. Again, on my side, however, the reason is different. For me, I have a full-time job outside of this. I'm pretty sedentary at my job. I have to be. I have to be sedentary during my commute. And of course, when I'm writing or when I'm drawing, I have to be sitting. It just kind of comes with the territory. And so these exercises, aside from like trying to get 10,000 steps a day, which I think is a really good goal, and I love the Fitbit for that. Not sponsored, although Fitbit, you should sponsor me. Aside from those things, these exercises on my end have to be done in a timely manner. It can't happen across the day. I don't even think that that's as effective. Just so you know, I think it's actually beneficial to exercise in one sitting if you can. And then same thing for the fantasy character. They're going to have outside responsibilities they have to attend to, although those might be more physical in nature, just given the fact that if you want to take the ring to Mordor, you have to walk for 13 months across mountainous terrain. That's a bit of a better workout than sitting at your desk. But at the same time, in many of these situations, if you think of like a superhero scenario or a fight scene, you have to endure strenuous work on your body for the span of like 30 minutes. Right now, I realize a lot of fights can be shorter than that. Some fights could go longer than that. Some fights involve running in between. And so for this, we're going to try and max this out, still have it be a strength building workout, but something that incorporates body competency as well as a little bit of heart elevation in terms of cardio, right? Like we don't want to be full cardio all the time. We don't want the cardio exercise to take over so that it's not a muscular strength exercise, but we really do want to get our body working. We want to get our body in a line with our goals. And this is what a fantasy character would need to do as well for all of their movements. So it's time for us and for them to get off the couch and get into it. Today is leg day and ab day, and I'm going to walk you guys through what I did with one little note. I did injure my hip about 5 months ago. It is still injured. It's a lot better, but I have used some modifications. I'm not going to be doing every exercise that I would usually do in these sets. I'm going to be doing modified forms of them. I may be doing extended sets for the same thing. That's absolutely okay. I can share a little bit about what substitutes you could use as well in your own home. To start things off, we're hitting legs. And for these rules, just again, like I said, to keep it fast, sorry, I don't think I clarified this. At the start of this exercise, as soon as it starts, I have 2 minutes until my next one. So if this exercise takes 2 minutes, I get no rest at all. If I get it done in a minute, I get a minute of rest. And that is true throughout the entire workout. You just keep going on 2-minute sections. Okay, let's break in. First, we're doing 4 sets of 10 on each leg squats. So one-legged squats, 4 sets of 10. Now, if you can't do a one-legged squat today, that is absolutely okay. Do squats. And if you're trying to get from squats to one-legged squats, practice doing a one-legged squat down onto the couch and then coming back up. Let the couch catch you. Totally okay. Sometimes you'll just be able to get down a little bit. Perfect. The more angled down you get, the more weight you're taking onto that leg. Understandable. The more muscles are engaged. So it's okay to have that little fail-safe there as you're practicing. And then once you feel comfortable, don't do it next to a couch. Make sure you're comfortable, though, first, because those tailbones, man, they don't like it. They don't like it when you fall on them. After we do 4 sets of 10, and I will say that is the most strenuous part of this workout, I used to do Bulgarian split squats with this as well. I would hold 240s and have a 30-pound vest on while I would do it. Again, just because of the injury, I'm not going to be doing that for this video. You're welcome to do that. Just doing Bulgarian split squats with no weight at all is pretty intense. What you would do is put one leg on the couch and then essentially do a lunge, but you want to go from your front leg almost towards your back leg, making it so that your butt has to push you up. Okay, after that, I'm going to be doing some just dumbbell deadlifts. This is really good for the lower back, in my opinion. It gets your glutes as well, but it's just a great way to kind of engage your body. Give yourself a minute to recover from the amount of single leg squats you just did on each leg. And we're going to be doing 2 sets of those. So that'll be good. That'll be fun. And then finally, after that, we're going to finish up with 3 sets of wall sits. Anywhere from 45 to 30 seconds is kind of what I go for, so I can get a little bit of that break. But if you want to push, you can go a minute, minute and a half. Maybe give yourself a little bit of wiggle room so that the next one isn't no good at all. But if that's what you want to do and that's how you want to play, totally okay. After that, we're jumping into abs. And for abs, I'm going to pull up that sheet because I do not have the ab exercise memorized. This one is going to be different from all of the other kinds of workouts that I do for a series of reasons. The first reason is that we are almost entirely on the floor while we're doing this. And the second reason is that I do not give myself timed breaks. The goal is to just keep going, and we're going to be switching between segments of our abs while we do it. I do want to shout out to my wife. She's much better at ab workouts than I am, and she is the one who designed this for us. But you're going to be switching between upper, lower, and then side or oblique abs, and so that should be good. It should be nice. It's been nice for me. It kicks my butt. First, we do 40 sets of crunches, and we follow that up with 20 leg lifts. Then we move into Russian twists. We do 20, so you can do 10 on each side. That's kind of how I count it out. 20 dead bugs after that, followed by 10 low boat to high boat. You do not want your legs and your arms to rest on the ground as you do any of these. You're trying to keep your core suspending the weight. And then usually I would do legs up, or that is like what's written here, legs up cross crunches. However, because of my hip, I don't do that. I just do the cross crunch and put my legs down. That's absolutely okay if that's where you're at too. After that, we're going to do side twist planks. My wife is bigger on the twist than I am. I just more tuck my arm up and under. It still burns quite a bit. If you can't do it on your feet to your arm, do it on your knees to your arm and give yourself a little bit of a weight break. And then bicycle crunches, 20 each side. Sometimes I do 40 for those I really have just begun to get good at bicycle crunches. I used to kind of just like speed run through them. It's not nearly as effective. Take your time on them. Make them hurt. And then 20 leg lifts, followed by a plank for 30 seconds. And that is day 2 of this exercise wheel. You can do these exercises once or twice a week. You could do push, pull, legs, abs, like that kind of setup. That tends to be what I do. So that works for me. It allows me to either go 2 times per week or 3 times a week. Oh, I'm sorry, or 1 time a week. No, not even going to say that. Don't 3 times a week. You're going to end up with a stupid injury, a hip one. It's not a fun time. Make sure to give yourself 48 hours of rest in between each of these things. And if I can say, someone left a comment on the first video that I want to talk about because I think it's really good to remember. A lot of the training that we're doing in these videos is really cool, really helpful, really awesome, and you can learn some fun tricks. I would eventually like to be able to human flag. I think that would be so cool, like a fun party trick. You know, obviously there's handstands, there's acrobats, there's gymnasts, there's parkourists. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of people who do incredible things all of the time, and we can train our bodies to do that. That being said, certainly some fantasy characters, no matter how much training you do, are going to be pushing the bounds of what is real. I think Batman is maybe the most ridiculous character in the world at points. He's cool, I like him, but he's almost just like plot armored out the wazoo, where it's like, oh, he doesn't even sleep at night. He just takes micro naps in the middle of his patrols. And like, my father-in-law was an army ranger, and he was telling the story about how they were out in the wilderness for 72 days and just weren't like allowed to sleep. So people were falling asleep standing up, like actually standing. They were falling asleep. Like, it's just not, you can't outsmart the basics, I think is what I'm trying to say here. Certain things that they say happen are so fantastical, they were done without regard to whether or not it was, sorry to say this, good writing. Now, I'm not saying you can't go like totally out the wazoo and have fun with it. If you want to be ridiculous all the way around, be ridiculous all the way around. That's totally okay. But I think you can have a really strong, fun character like a Henry Cavill, or like a who's the guy, Alan Rickman? Is that right? The guy who plays Reacher. You can have a fun tank character and still acknowledge like they get tired. I think that's compelling writing. So if you're a fantasy author, like, I think that's a way to go. It doesn't have to be the only way to go. Absolute Batman is an absolute beast, and that's fun. That's okay. But I want to say, like, just acknowledge that difference. Just be comfortable to take rest days as you're building, and be aware that you're a person and that you need to like love and take care of yourself. You're not just a project. And so if you want to get fantasy fit, I encourage you to use these videos, but to use them while listening to your own body. And I thank you guys for joining me. I hope to see you on the next fantasy adventure. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to like it so that I know that you liked it. Make sure to comment what your favorite part was, or if you have any questions, things you want to talk about, I'll try and see those in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can join me as I continue to do all sorts of things fantasy related, including build out my own fantasy worlds and stories. Thanks so much. I'll catch you in the next one.